Today I'm going to demonstrate how to get started on building an amphora. Here's the sketch of the amphora. I'm going to start building here using some rope coils. Some other things you're going to need are, of course, your rope coils, and these are covered with wet paper towels to keep them from drying out until I'm ready to use them. You'll need some clay for a base, and a needle and a rib tool, and it's good to have a spray bottle handy to keep it from drying out. The base of the amphora is going to be rather small because my design is narrow at the base, so I'm just going to start with a small ball of clay, kind of flatten it down until about 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to make it larger than I need it, but make a consistent thickness on the base, about pinky thick or so, about 1/2 inch is all you need. And then to cut out a perfect circle, just kind of spin your bat and draw a line as it spins, and then you can just turn it by hand to finish cutting through it. And then to keep your clay from drying out, when you can use it next, just keep it covered with a damp paper towel. Okay, I'm taking the first rope coil out here. I'm going to wrap it around the base, kind of like on the corner of the base. And then I'm going to cut it. It's obviously too long. And if you notice, these rope coils have like a concave shape right here. That's so when you build on to the next layer, that concave shape fits nicely right on there. So these rope coils look kind of big at first, and that is by design because we're going to spend a lot of time pinching these together and blending. So here I am blending the coil in along the base. This clay is soft enough that you don't need to score and slip. So I'm supporting the inside with my left hand and blending down into the base with my right hand, and I'm doing it while I'm spinning it, so it's kind of like making a giant pinch pop, but you're blending it as you go. Now I'll do the same on the inside. Just like your pinch pot, we'll go around here and pull up the sidewalls a little bit and blend out the roughness as we build. And we can kind of see where the coils came together here. The next coil we put on, we'll definitely try to offset that a little bit. And make sure you grab a coil that's going to be long enough to go around one time, so that's not long enough. And these coils have been stored underneath a wet paper towel so that when I'm ready to use them, they're still soft. If you leave them out for more than 10 minutes, they'll get too hard, and then you won't be able to blend the clay together as easily. You'll end up scoring and slipping, and well, that process just takes too long and is not necessary when you keep your coils wet. So here's layer 2 going together. I'm going to focus a little bit of my time here working on the seam where the two come together, and my design initially begins with the pot getting a slightly wider. So in addition to it getting taller, it's going to get wider, so I'll place the coil towards the outside edge of the previous coil and then blend and build up, blending both the inside and outside as I progress. And blend one coil at a time because you'll have time to shape and enlarge your pot. Now to get it to go taller, I'm squeezing the clay together as I'm pinching it here to get it to go taller. If I don't squeeze it together as I'm pinching this, it's just going to get wider and wider. and it'll get so wide that it'll actually collapse because it can't support the weight. And I wouldn't build more than 6 coils on any given day, because what you want this bottom area to start to get harder to support the weight of the top of the pot, because it's going to get quite heavy as you build up. And the rib tool works nicely for blending these coils together as well, to keep the outside edge smooth and symmetrical. This next coil I'm putting on, you see that it's towards the inside edge of this amphora, because I want the amphora to get skinnier now. So I got to shorten the length of the coil. And as you shorten the length of the coil, that will constrict the diameter of your pot and therefore bringing it in. Now you have to be careful when you blend this together that you don't pull out on it too much, or then the amphora will then get wider. So you need to be aware of that as you're blending, that you're pushing in with a lot of your technique here to continue to get this to build inward and up. As you're building, neatness is important, and you don't want to wait too long before you get some nasty looking thing going on here to take care of some neatness issues. So as you're building and working with this piece, make sure it's continuously being worked for neatness and symmetry, because as you get towards the end, it's going to be harder to pull that off if things got off to a bad start. So make sure you're off to a good start, and if you find that the clay is too soft, to add more coils to the top without deforming the shape near the bottom. Wait a day for the bottom to kind of get harder to support the weight of the extra coils that you're adding. Okay, now as we progress upward, if you'll notice that the next layer of coils that I'm adding here is going to be towards the outside edge, because I want my design to get wider now, because I'm past this point and here's where I'm going now. I'm getting wider as it goes up. Remember, I want to get my amphoras 10 inches tall, and to get 10 inches tall, I kind of want to follow the contour of the design that I have there, which is slightly smaller on paper, making it a little bit bigger here. I should be able to get 10 inches out of this eventually. This may be one of the last coils I add today, as I'm noticing it's kind of soft and moves too easily, and I don't want to crush what I've already worked on by adding too much weight to the top. Going one direction and then coming back the opposite direction, going diagonals in the opposite direction, tend to do a pretty nice job of blending out all your bumps. And then using the rib tool, make sure you use a clean rib tool if you want to blend. You don't want dry chunks on there. So I'll just put more scrape marks in the side of your pot. And just take the majority of your time just refining your work until you're satisfied with the shape of your pot before you put it away. Okay, I want to talk to you about how to put your pottery away on a daily basis so that the next day you come in, you're able to progress upward without destroying your work. I'm using the same wet paper towels that I had my coils, my rope coils wrapped in. Still damp enough. Don't need a ton of moisture here. Too much moisture in the clay is going to soak up the moisture and then collapse. Alright, so this is the area I want to kind of get leather hard. So I'm focusing the wet paper towels in the top portion of this pot. Remember, never pour water into the inside, or you're really going to have some issues. And then, of course, bagging it. You want to just bag the top 2/3 of the piece of pottery, and let some air get at the bottom. So this is the area I'm letting some air get into, right down here. And then the next day I come in, it will be kind of leather hard down here. And I want to keep it leather hard. I don't want it to dry out, but I'll keep it leather hard so that I can continue to build on it.